everyone, I am Erika of BEADIngschool.com and you are watching No One Has to Bead Alone, my weekly open free video workshop on Facebook to make sure that you always have company to bead with. So today you can watch my broadcast from the Beading School Facebook page and also from the Beading School Club. My coffee is gone. Also from the Beading School Club. So in case that you are watching it from the Beading School Club, then you need to click the link that I will just post now to enable my broadcasting program to see your name and see your face, and then I can say, hello Maria, and hello Kata, and Sarah, and Faye, and Tanya, and Corinne, and Ula, and Katja. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on the time that you have in your country. Manuela is here, Honey is here. Wonderful. Today we are going to work on the Shiraz bracelet that you can see on the picture. And Miriam joined us, and Sandra, and Iris, and Kiki has a day off, and Janine is here, and Natalie, and Ludka, and Elena is here, and Liv, and Donna, and it's wonderful to see you all. What a beautiful day. I hope that our Swedish beading friends had a great Midsummer's Day last week on Friday. You ate enough herring for the upcoming time, and you danced enough around your flower pots, and most importantly, that you had a very nice time. And hi Claire, and Brit Marie, and Vita is here too. So nice to see you all, ladies. So for today, I have made you the Shiraz bracelet, and of course it can, the components can also be made into a pendant, earrings, whatever you like, a component and a brooch, just as nearly every time I would say. I don't even remember. Can you recall maybe a motif that we beaded together and which could not be changed into something else? Let's think about it. And in the meanwhile, I will switch on my lights. I forgot to do that before the broadcast. Just a sec. You know, today was like at 4 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. 5 in the afternoon now in Amsterdam, where I am sitting. And already at 4 in the afternoon, I was like, I'm ready. What shall I do now? What can I do? But then like 10 minutes before the broadcast, I started to have these feelings of like, what did I forget? What did I forget? And I even made the last minute coffee, which I just managed to spill part of it. Forgot my lights, but we have the beads, we have the camera, we have the tutorial. When all the necessities are here, the rest doesn't matter. And Eleanor and Ginny are here also. Welcome, ladies. In the meanwhile, if you would like to download the printable file, the PDF, then it is available at the usual place, beadingschool.com/no-one-has-to-bead-alone/. So as always, it is waiting for you there. And until I am doing a quick material check together with you, then you can head over there and download it and print it or open on your second device as you wish. And Kathy is here and some Facebook user friends, and I don't see your name, unfortunately. So let's look at the Shiraz bracelet. And Sarah says, still working on maybe a contest piece, but I will hang out with you anyway. And that's wonderful. I think you will get a lot of support and encouraging words. And I have seen the one that you have sent already, and it's amazing. And I am really looking forward to see everyone's entries and everything what I have seen so far. It was super beautiful. So we are having a beautiful contest this year again. If we have someone who would like to make her submission already, the contest form is open. Or if you would like to check out the categories or check out the amazing jury members that volunteered to choose the winners in our contest, then I have just posted the link where you can find everything about the contest. Also the submissions are now open. So, and Claudia is here, and Joy, and Marlene, and Teresa, and Tanya. Oh, and Tanya was working all day on the Preciosa category. Now she puts it away to bead the Shiraz bracelet. Oh, Ginny says that she is not going to enter. And she says it is going to be chaos here for a couple of weeks. We are having our floors sanded, bad timing. I'm so sorry about that, Ginny. I love your jewels. Every time you post something in the Beading School Club, then it's a pleasure to see. But I hope that you will be taking some rests with us while your home is turned upside down because of the improvements. Then we are always looking forward to spend time with you in the club. And Ula says, sent in all 3 already, now trying to not have second. We have it between the rules this year that once you have sent in, then it's done. It's not possible. Second thought, Ula, I'm 100% sure that what you have sent, it's beautiful. I haven't seen yours yet, so I'm super curious. And keeping fingers crossed for everyone and wishing everyone lots of creative ideas. And Susie is here, and Martina, and Shirley, and Katja says, I also sent all 3 already. Eleanor is working on 2 competition pieces. And all ladies, we have a first time. No one has to be the loner. Let's greet Joy. Welcome, Joy. You're in good company. And hi, Sharon, how are you? Sandra says, I ran out of beads, but got them in the post today, so we'll continue my category 1 competition, please. Wonderful. So let's look at the Shiraz bracelet. What do we need to bead the Shiraz? First, we need coffee. I'm not sure if everyone has coffee. I need coffee. It came out pretty nice. Adam became a skilled barista since lockdown started, and now he's like timing how fast the coffee comes out. He's measuring not only the weight of the beans, but also the weight of the coffee what's coming out. And sometimes he takes away my coffee because he thinks that it didn't come out in the right way and I can't drink it. But I managed to sneak in this one, even if he was not happy with something went wrong, I think, the time. So, coffee. And what else? What else? Let's look at my second camera. Sorry, I need to make some adjustments to my second camera. Today in the morning, I had a very, very fun time. I had an interview with a beader. Okay, another coffee cup, but this was empty, luckily. I have to be more careful about coffee cups. So today I had a very fun session in the morning with a fellow designer who was interviewing me. So I was showing her my beading board. So that's why it was in a different way, my camera and everything. And I think if I know it well, then you will get to see the interview during International Beading Week. And I was talking about you all, of course, so I recommend watching it. So, what do we need? What do we need? To start, for the middle of the motif, we will need some 4mm fire polished beads. I use these opaque green turquoise ones. I love them. It's one of my favorite shades of turquoise. I nearly said storytelling beaders. The beading school beaders know how insanely crazy I am about turquoise beads, and this is one of my favorite shades, in fact. So we will need some 4mm fire polished beads. Those are in the middle. Then we will need also some 3mm fire polished beads. Those are on the edge. So I am using the Picasso, white opaque Picasso is the name, I think. And I love this shade because I find it really versatile. It adds a bit of a boho and a bit of a natural look, even if otherwise I like using bright colors. So these are the fire polished beads that we are going to need. Then from the big beads, we also need MIYUKI half TILAs, and I was showing it to members already in the club. This design, it's not only a thread eater. You will need lots of thread to make this, but it's also kind of a half tila eater. I would say you will need lots of half tilas to bead this. And in case that you don't have enough, one motif is about 2 centimeters wide. That is a bit less than 1 inch, and you need 12 half tilas for one motif. Then you can also use 2 different colors of half tila beads together. As you see on the picture, I made a little illustration. So this is one example how you can put together the half tilas if you don't have enough. And there are also half tila beads between the motifs. But since we don't connect anything else to those half tila beads, then you can totally change them for a regular tila bead or a third color of the half tila, for example. Then you will also need some MIYUKI DELICA 11s. Those are actually barely visible. Those are here between the fire polished beads, the 4mm fire polished beads, more visible from the back than the front. Then I used 2 colors of round 15 MIYUKI seed beads. One is this greenish metallic, and the other one is the nickel plated. And you know what? I forgot to put on my beading board the component of the wig, but I have this little container full of different colors. So in the middle, I attached a 4mm or SS16 rhinestone, and that is also from Preciosa. You know how much I like Preciosa, and this is the perfect moment to mention that this week you can get a super nice deal for our Suwon Preciosa rhinestones. So all of the Preciosa rhinestones, the kind that I am using in this bracelet, they are 22% off at beadingschool.com. And we also have a package deal. Then you get 300 of the Preciosa Suwon rhinestones. That means 15 colors, 20 each, 20 pieces each that you can choose. Plus you get the tutorial for the 𝐂𝐋𝐈𝐒𝐄𝐑𝐈𝐂𝐋 earrings that you see on the picture. And Sarah says she loves rhinestones and she's not alone. I'm also like very much in love with them. It's such an easy and nice and elegant way to spruce up your designs. You can use them in bezels. You can use them on top of stuff like in the Shiraz bracelet. It is a wonderful and easy to use component. So that's what you are going to need, and also a clasp or earring hoof, whatever kind of motif you make. And let's look at the comments before we start beading. And Ginny is drinking her first coffee over there in the United States. Enjoy it, Ginny. Betty Lou in California. I bet you have sunshine. I bet you have better weather than me here in the Netherlands. Then, hi Shirley. Hello 𝐂𝐋𝐈𝐂𝐄𝐑𝐈𝐿. Zuzi is not starting new pieces as she has UFOs to finish. It's a nice feeling to get them off your chest and beading board. And hi, honey. And Liv, I'm sorry about the issue. At the moment, I can't because it takes time and I don't want to keep the ladies waiting here. If there is someone between the beaders who can help you with the PDF, I would be really grateful if someone helped Liv with the PDF. She has trouble downloading it. At the moment, I have to stay with the video. I hope you understand. And yeah, we have actually a bit of trouble with PayPal because it's like putting payments on hold and not releasing tutorials right away. So I would like to say thank you to everyone who decided to purchase the tutorial and support. No one has to be alone. Without you, this would not be possible. In the meanwhile, please download the free version from the same page, beadingschool.com. No one has to be /no one has to be alone / because PayPal is doing some additional checks on some of the payments. If this persists, we are getting in touch with PayPal. I hope it passes. Sometimes sometimes it takes time. So please do that. And thank you for your patience. And thank you very much, Shirley, for helping out Liv. You ladies are amazing. Ula just ordered the 300 crystals. Thank you so much for your order, Ula. And hi, Catherine. Catherine is in a pub. What are you having? So, let's get started. I hid the deer, but I don't think you can forget about it. It's a good one. So, let's start beading. I will put back, first of all, I need to find my hand camera. There it is. With my 4 motifs already done. And also let's find my illustrations. Here they are. Let's start with step 1, I would suggest. Okay, so finally, beading. I start by picking up 4 pieces of 4mm fire polished beads. I tend to use the 0.12mm thick or 4LB FIRELINE in black satin. I find it the perfect thickness. So I pick up the four pieces of 4mm fire polished beads, and I leave a tail of 5-6 inches, 10 to 12 centimeters, and then I bead through all the beads one more time to join them into a little square. And then I bead through the fire polished bead, the first fire polished bead, for a third time too. So I have my little square here. Linda is asking, hi Linda, for the instructions. You can find them at beadingschool.com/no-one-has-to-bead-alone/ I have just posted the link. And after this first step, what we need to do is we will be adding the MIYUKI DELICA beads between the 4mm fire polished beads, so on the corners of this little square. I did not tie a knot this time. It's enough that I went all around 2 times and even for a third time through the first fire polished bead. And I am holding my tail thread and I am adding the MIYUKI DELICA beads one by one. And I see that Kata helped Liv. Thank you so much, ladies. I would have loved to help myself, but you know, like talking, video, reading, beading, that's enough to do at once. So at the moment, I'm not able to send emails. So step 2, I will finish it after beading through the second new MIYUKI DELICA bead, or even the third one. I like to continue beading a bit before I would start adding new beads, because as I pull my thread, then if I started right away, then it would be easy to deform the motif. We don't want that. Thank you, Shirley. So, and now we are adding the rhinestone in the middle. I have a crystal Labrador, silver, full silver, fancy Preciosa rhinestone in a silver setting. And I am exiting a Delica on the corner. I pick up 2 MIYUKI round 15ths in my first color. I pick up 1 MIYUKI round 15 in my second color. It's up to you if you are using 1 or 2 colors. I bead through the rhinestone. There are 2 holes, like in this metal setting on the back side of the rhinestone, as you can see, in a cross shape. So I bead through the first hole. I pick up 1 round seed bead in the second color, 2 round seed beads from the first color, and then I bead through the MIYUKI DELICA that is opposite of the one that I was exiting before picking up the new beads. And when I pull my thread, then the rhinestone will be exactly in the middle, and I can bead back through the round 15ths, through the same hole of the rhinestone, and then I bead through the DELICA that I was exiting at the beginning of this step. I continue through a fire polished bead, and I continue through the next MIYUKI DELICA bead. So, hi Deb, nice to have you here again. And how are you ladies doing? Tutorial issues are solved? Linda, Liv, everyone, do you have the tutorial, ladies? So, if you are doing okay, then I will turn the page and go on to step 4. And in step 4, I am exiting the DELICA here. I pick up 2 MIYUKI rounds in my first color, another one in my second color, and then I bead through the open hole of the rhinestone. And then I pick up 1 piece of the second color, 2 pieces of the first color, and I bead through the DELICA opposite of the one that I was exiting at the beginning. And then I bead back through everything, round 15ths, second hole of rhinestone, and more round 15ths. And then I bead through the DELICA that I was exiting at the beginning, and then just because of thread tension, I continue through the next 4mm fire polished bead and the next MIYUKI DELICA 11. And the result, when I properly pull my thread, I arrange my round 15ths, the result is this little square, a little puffy square with the rhinestone in the middle. And let's stop here for a second. So, Anita is here and Sharon is here. Welcome, ladies. And why did I want to stop? So, if you look at this little middle of the motif that will become the middle of the motif, then you can see that actually it would be pretty easy to connect such motifs to each other. So if you are familiar with right angle weave, if you maybe followed my classes last October or you have learned it already somewhere, then when you have 4 beads in a little square, that means then that you can continue building, for example, a row of these little squares, and then everywhere you can put a little rhinestone in the middle. You can make 1 row, you can make 2 rows, you can make it smaller, bigger, 3mm, 4mm, 6mm fire polished beads or pearls. And this is a fast and easy way to decorate those little squares and make, for example, a nice fancy bracelet full of rhinestones. So, just one idea to use this knowledge that you get from here also in a different way. And then in step 5, we are starting to add the half TILA beads. This is when the motif is starting to grow really. So I am exiting the DELICA and I will be adding groups of 3 half TILA beads between the DELICA beads. So I try to be careful to add them in a way that the bumps are facing the top. That's up to you how perfectionist you are. So exiting a DELICA, picking up 3 MIYUKI half TILAs, beading through the next DELICA bead, and this is how I bead all around. When I pull my thread, then you see that the 3 half TILAs, that's exactly the distance between the 2 DELICA beads. And when I pull them, then they look really nice, like a little wing or fan spreading out. And I'm super curious. Super curious. Are you using 1 or 2 colors of half TILAs? Please let me know. And Kiki, thank you. Petra, let me know that the last 2 pages were for some reason changed, reversed the order. Well, for some reason, I know what I did wrong in my graphic program. So the new version is already available. Even if you bought the tutorial, I would just, and thank you for that, I would just recommend downloading the free version again, and then you will get the correct one as far as I know. So, and 𝐂𝐋𝐈𝐂𝐄 is here. Hi, 𝐂𝐋𝐈���𝐂𝐄. Corinne is using 2 half TILAs, 2 colors of half TILAs. Corinne, I'm thinking about you every time that I sit on my balcony and then the parakeets are flying in front of my balcony. Then I'm always thinking about you. I hope you are well. Tanya is using 1 color. I'm curious about that. Tanya told me before the broadcast that she's using a color combination that I normally don't use. I thought like black and white, that's like the most unusual I can think of. But she said it's not black and white, so I'm curious. Katja uses 2 colors. I think that will be such a nice effect. Miriam is using 1 color of half TILAs. Miriam, I am thinking so much about the nice times that when we've met in Hamburg, by the way. Today somehow the memories came back, maybe because at least our Preciosa box is traveling. Not me, but at least the box. So then I was thinking about traveling and all the coffees and everything we had in Hamburg. And Shirley is using 2 colors too, bronze metallic and blue iris metallic, metal girl. Faye is using 1 color. Carolina, hi Carolina. So nice to see you. Carolina started to bead with us during the May month of bead embroidery. And she says, still have a lot of my crafts in boxes from my move, watching but wish I was making too. I hope you can join the making soon. Did you get at least a bit comfortable in your new home? I guess not completely comfortable if your crafts are still in boxes, but did you manage to settle at least a bit? Okay, and in the meanwhile, how I'm reading and talking, I'm continuing picking up half TILAs, and I have 6. So I need only half of that. So 3 half TILAs. Katie thinks that red and purple. That's also an unusual combination for me. I like red. I like purple, but somehow not together. I do have jewels in those shades together, but not many, I would say. Carolina says, yes, we have been here for almost a month. Just started unboxing beads last night, but can't find my TILAs. Excuse for a trip to the store. That's always a good excuse. And Kata is also using 2 colors. I just see your comment. So it's interesting how the original is with 1, but as I did not count the responses, but I have a feeling that most of you ladies are using 2 colors. So that will be very exciting to see. And Miriam says homework was awesome. It was. Ula says 1 color. I am experimenting making a double-sided segment because I want to make a keyring decoration for a friend who loves purple and never uses jewelry. It's so nice to see experiments and playing with the motifs, because there are so many possibilities. And in the meanwhile, we repeat the thread pass kind of, but we will be adding around 15 seed beads between the first and second, and then between the second and the third half tila. And then we finish by turning to the opposite direction by beading through the open hole of one of the half tila beads. So what I wanted to say is that there are always so many possibilities, not only regarding colors, but how you put together and how you use the motifs. And there is like a lifetime would not be enough to explore all those opportunities. And that is my guilty pleasure as someone who teaches bead weaving, that even if I don't have the time to bead everything, through your beautiful pieces, through your work, I kind of have the feeling that the design was done in many different variations, and then it's like it's fulfilled, the quest of the design is fulfilled, and I can move on to the next one. So thank you for that feeling. It's awesome. And we have another first time reader with us, first time watcher, Dawn Elizabeth. Hi, Dawn. And everyone, please say hi to Dawn. And where are you from, Dawn? I'm curious. Ginny is using 1 color, peach color. So I am adding the round 15s between the half tilas, always between the first and the second, and then between the second and the third half tila in a group of 3. And when I reach the DELICA, then I just bead through the DELICA. I am not adding anything there. So thank you, ladies, saying hi to Dawn. And like usually when I say like, yay, we have these earrings, but you can bead it as a pendant, or we have this brooch, you can bead it as a bracelet, as a motif of a bracelet, then I keep encouraging you and I keep enjoying seeing your work. But usually I don't have personally the time to do that. However, somehow this week, I don't know how, but I have plenty of time. It's a very unusual feeling. So I started to make an earring. Actually, I finished the first from the earring. I want to show you how it looked like, because I actually cut it apart. Okay, here it is. So this is the earring that I made to match the bracelet. And So here I attached this ear stud with a transparent crystal, a teardrop shaped transparent crystal. And then there was this 3mm white cup chain, which seemed to be a good idea. But then I had a feeling that it is too bulky, so I tried to cut it and I broke a half TILA that was holding the cup chain. So on Tuesday, when I was improvising during our live video, then Tanya asked, like, I think it was you, Tanya, that, oh, do you always get to design so easily? No. Even if I have the feeling that I know that what am I doing, as with the cup chain at the bottom of this motif, it can go wrong. It often goes wrong and I have to try again and experiment and try again. So I already have another idea, not only for the bottom of the earring, but I already have an idea for how I figured out attaching the cup chain to the half TILAs. That will come in a different jewel. So even if this was an error, it is leading to 2 other jewels, so I don't mind at all. I was angry for a second, but yeah, that's how it is. And Bonnie is here. So nice to see you again, Bonnie. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you are all right. So, and I added all the round 15s. And now I am turning to the opposite direction by beading through the second hole of a half TILA. Step 7. This is a fun step. We are finishing the first motif. And what we are doing is that I am joining, without adding a new bead, 2 half TILAs, the open holes of 2 half TILAs that belong to 2 different groups. So this is the place where I have the MIYUKI DELICAs in between the first holes. So between the second holes, I don't add anything. And then all the other gaps between the second holes, I am adding 3mm fire polished beads. And this is how I finish my first motif. And Katie says, that's such a good example that you learn from making mistakes. That's also what I'm teaching to my pupils. I think this is such an important point of view to learn. I'm 100% sure that in all fields, in the school with your pupils, in beading, in whatever we do, if we can learn this mindset of this was an experiment and maybe I did not succeed, but I learned something from it. Maybe I learned a solution that I can use somewhere else, or maybe I just figured out a solution that does not work. And both are important. We don't only need to know where do we want to go, we also want to know where do we not want to go. So I'm not attaching any more 3mm white cup chains to the bottom of small motifs. And Kathy says, yes, sometimes they say sorry for making mistakes. That's so weird because they are in my class to learn. Kathy, you must be such an awesome teacher. Oh, I want to go back to school. And Diane says, hello everyone, mistakes are what help you learn. I should be so wise by now. Well, even if we know this in theory, that's how we learn, but of course it is frustrating and we keep repeating them. But I think it's hopefully getting easier by time. For me in beading, definitely, I used to get so angry when I made a mistake, but I just learned to accept it. That's how it works. And Bonnie says, love this design, Erika, and it's so quick and easy. I'm glad that you like it, Bonnie. I'm also happy with it. So, and now we will learn how to connect the second motif right away. I don't like when I am building up something from motifs and then I have to cut my thread every time and start a new thread every time after finishing a motif. So I like to come up with ways how you can build the second and then the third, fourth, whatever motif right away. I know that Sarah likes it too. So I am now, you can look at picture 7 and 8. So I am at this end of step 7. I am exiting a fire polished bead in a way that my thread is hanging towards a half TILA that is in the middle of a group of 3. And then I pick up a half TILA bead. I put it here so I can imagine it better, that how will it be laid out in the bracelet. And then I bead back right away through the second hole of the half TILA. And I continue, I skip the half TILA that is in the middle of the group, and I bead through the fire polished bead and the next half TILA. So when I pull my thread, then this will be the connection between two motifs. So in case that you need to adjust the length, or you are afraid that you will run out of half TILA beads, then you can also use, for example, a TILA in place of a half TILA, or another color of the half TILA. And then I want to get back to the first hole of the new half TILA. That's what I do at the end of step 8. So I bead through the first holes of half TILAs and the round 15s in between. And then I'm again at the edge of the motif, on the edge of the motif, and I bead through half TILA, fire polished, and the first hole of the new half TILA. So now you see how the connection is arranged. And welcome, Gisela. From my understanding, there was something with work, and you are wishing us fun or something. Thank you, Gisela. Dankeschön, Gisela. Unfortunately, I don't speak German. I can understand some words because Dutch is similar, but my German is non-existent. But I'm glad that you are here, Gisela. And then in step 9, I'm exiting the first hole of the half TILA. I pick up a fire polished bead. I pick up a MIYUKI half TILA, and then this will be a funny step. I bead back through the second hole of the half TILA, and I pick up 2 more half TILA beads, but be careful, this will be the holes that you go through now, which will be next to the 4mm fire polished bead. So arrange the half TILAs in a way that the bumps are facing to the top. Then I'm beading back through the open hole of the last half TILA that I picked up. I pick up another 3mm fire polished bead, and I bead through this connecting half TILA, the one that I have attached in step 8. And then I bead through the first hole of this connecting half TILA and the fire polished and the first hole of the first half TILA picked up in step 9 again. And Tanya, thank you so much for the translation. Tanya translated to me. Gisela says she's busy with the preparation of her holiday, so she can't participate, and she wishes us lots of fun. Thank you, Tanya, and Dankeschön, Gisela, and enjoy your holiday very much. I hope you will have nice weather, and you can relax, and you will have an awesome time. And ladies, let me know, please, how is it going with your Shiraz bracelet? I am moving on now to step 10. Here it is. So, first, I am beading through these holes of the half TILA beads that will be close, that will be next to the 4mm fire polished beads. And then I pick up a MIYUKI DELICA bead and 4 pieces of 4mm fire polished beads. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Tanya is asking, is it normal that the middle half TILA of those 3 is a bit loose? You will attach that middle half TILA better a little bit later, I think step 15 maybe. And at the end, if you feel that it would be loose, then I recommend to bead one more time through the middle, through the first holes of the half TILA and the DELICA beads in between, and then also on the edge of the motif, the second holes of the half TILA and the 3mm fire polished beads in between. I hope it helps, Tanya. And Faye is doing okay. And Ula says that her Shiraz keychain decoration looks nice. I'm happy. So, and now, when I picked up the 4mm fire polished beads, then remember step 4. I am beading through all 4 fire polished beads one more time, and then the very first one for a third time. So I created a square that looks exactly the same as that very first square at the beginning of our design. And in step 11, I am adding MIYUKI DELICA beads between the 4mm fire polished beads, but I need to add only 3 new pieces, as when I reach the gap, the corner between the 4th and the first fire polished bead, then instead of picking up a new one, I bead through the MIYUKI DELICA bead that I picked up at the beginning of step 10. And then I continue through the next fire polished, DELICA, fire polished, DELICA, so I can start the next step, not from the very first DELICA, but a little bit later. So this is how it looks like. The motif is like kind of falling apart, but we will fix everything later. And now we will add the rhinestone in the middle exactly in the same way as before. So first, I am picking up the round 15s and the rhinestone in the middle and more round 15s. and then I get in position for the second part. Then I pick up the round 15ths and I bead through the second hole of this Suwon rhinestone. By the way, ladies, do you know where does the name Shiraz come from, and have you maybe read the inspiration behind it? If not, I will tell you in a bit. And Nicolene is here. Nicolene is still in hospital. Oh, Nicolene, how are you doing? And I really hope that you get better soon. I was thinking of you a couple of days ago. It's taking too long. Get well soon, Nicolene. Better shop. Sending you hugs. So nice to see you, ladies. Everyone wishing Nicolene that she gets well soon. And Elena is asking, is it a wine Shiraz? Yes. Shiraz is also the name of a wine. However, that's not where it originally comes from. Originally, Shiraz is the name of a city in Iran, and it is the city of, it's a very poetic city, I would say. It is the city of artists and flowers and literature, and even if Iran is a Muslim country, it is also the city of wine. And Shiraz, it's a red wine. Now first I need to explain how to go further. So in step 13, I am filling in groups of 3 MIYUKI half tilas all around the motif. But when I reach the 3 that I have already added, then instead of adding even more groups of 3, I will be beading through those 3 beads that are already kind of attached. This is when the motif will start to look normal finally. So what's funny that Shiraz is a red wine, and the original and this colorway, this is not the original, but I was making this when I chose the name of the design, but the red wine is not the reason why I named this piece Shiraz. I don't work often with like really red beads unless someone chooses red beads for me during coffee time. So this was a rare exception, and what came into my mind was a novel written by Orhan Pamuk, a Turkish writer, and the title of that novel is Red. And very often in that novel, Orhan Pamuk is writing about the masters of Shiraz, masters of miniature painting, And that's how somehow this name came to my mind. Sometimes I know it's not completely logical and not at all straightforward, but that's how it works. Sometimes it's just this feeling that this is the name of the design, and I end up naming it like that, and it fits. And there is some kind of explanation why I choose that name, but it might be weird like this. And hi, Facebook user. I don't see your name, unfortunately, but welcome. And is anyone drinking Shiraz wine today? I said it's recommended but not compulsory to drink Shiraz wine to go with the motif. And now you see how the motif really, even if we beaded it in a completely different way, then it's really starting to look like that first one. Beads starting to be attached where they are supposed to be attached. I can now add the round 15 seed beads exactly how I added them with that first motif. So it's like coming together nicely. And ladies, oh, Faye's in New Zealand, she says, Shiraz wine at 4 a.m. So ladies, are you also beading bracelets like I do? Or are you beading something else? Ula is beading the keychain. Will someone make a pendant, or someone maybe beading a pair of earrings? This is one of those where I think not only Kata, who is a super fast beader, but since this is such a fast motif to complete, that maybe more of us have a chance to be the full set of jewels. Honey is beading the glass house. Oh, that's special. I'm curious. For those of you who did not watch Coffee Time with Erika earlier this week, we had a super nice game. I asked someone to volunteer, and a fellow beader, Sheila, volunteered. She joined me on screen, and she chose, during the live video, she chose 3 beads for me. The ginkgo, the DELICA beads, and the fire polished beads. And then during the live video, also incorporating ideas of fellow beaders, I improvised this motif, which we ended up naming Glass House. And it was a scary but super nice experience. And I drew the instructions, and the instructions are now available for the members of the Beadingschool club. And every time that I will see a glass house motif beaded, I already saw some really nice ones. The first one from Tanya, and Deb already beaded it, and now Honey is beading it. Then I will always remember the fun time that we had together. So this is glass house, and an orchid in the glass house. And Kata says, no Shiraz wine yet, too early. Maybe something for the dinner, but it's too warm for red. Maybe a chilled white or rosé or champagne. But I love the Shiraz grape. I think I haven't actually drank Shiraz wine yet, maybe. I can't recall it. Probably I have, but I can't recall the taste of it. And Kata, if you have a glass of nice wine later, whatever kind it is, then enjoy it very much. And you can bead the bracelet maybe in rose tones or in some whitish creamish tones to go with to match your wine in the evening. It doesn't have to match the original Shiraz. And Kiki says, bracelet now, but I will make earrings and possible try to make a pendant too. That will be really nice, especially if you try maybe to enlarge the motif. I was thinking about it, that it would be totally possible to go even bigger with this. So if someone is in the mood of improvising and developing a design further, then I think this is a good base for some further thoughts. Honey likes the glass house. What kind of colors are you using, Honey? Honey colors like I do now. I know you don't like the Picasso ones, but for me, the combination of red and turquoise, that's like honey colors. Shirley is beading a pendant. Kata says, I am very slow today, working with very unusual colors. Made lottery again and forced myself to use only colors which I have maybe never used before. Just bought the beads long time ago. I'm curious, Kata, because now nothing comes to my mind, no color that I would recall that I have never seen a jewel from Kata in that color. But I think you are talking about like very specific shades, because otherwise like green, red, purple, yellow, orange, I can like totally recall a jewel from you in every color that comes to my mind. And Tanya is also curious. And Kata says, Syra is the French version. Shiraz is more from the New World. Very nice one, try out. I will, thank you. Joyce, hi Joyce. She says, I love sets. Me too. Corinne, tell me. I will do my best to help you. I am now adding the last fire polished bead. So I have my second motif ready, and I am going to attach it to the bracelet, to this part of the bracelet that I've already have. And then I will go back to the other side and attach the other half of the clasp. The clasp that I chose for it, by the way, it's from the Bloom box, and the Bloom box is the set of components that is, I put it together while thinking about flowers and everything finally in bloom. And when I chose this clasp, there is like a little flower in the middle of the clasp. I did not know yet that Shiraz is also the city of flowers. So this is so fitting. It all comes together at the end. It's so funny. So Corinne says, Step 9, the vertical half TILA that comes on the link, the bracelet components. Yes. How you attach it to the fire polished 3mm. You attach it, you mean the fire polished 3mm that is on the edge of the motif, and how you attach it to the half TILA that is the connection. Let me see. You attached it in steps 8 and 9. The half TILA that is connecting the two motifs, it needs to be attached to actually 4 pieces of 3mm fire polished beads. 2 pieces in the previous motif and 2 pieces in the new motif. And you attach in step 8, you attach the half TILA to the previous, and then in step 9 you attach it to the new fire polished beads. Yes, I made a new version already with the page numbers. They got mixed up. The last 2 pages got mixed up when I was making the PDF. I'm sorry about that. So you need to follow the numbers of the steps. And I uploaded already the new version. You can download it through the form for the free tutorial, for example. Corinne, did I answer your question? Or did you have something else on your mind? And the half TILA that is in the middle of the group, which is at the connection, that gets attached to the fire polished beads in step 15. Okay, Kata gets it. Can you help me with answering the question, Kata, please? I think I missed the part of my coffee that was spilled. So the vertical one is this one. And how is it attached to the fire polished? The horizontal. Yeah, that one in the middle of the group that gets attached in step 15, as Kata says. Exactly. Yes, only at the end. Yes, also for Shirley. And Sandra has a question. Question about extending your fire line. Do you tie it off with knots on thread bridges like other threads, or do you tie square knot with the connecting ends and burn the ends so that it becomes one continuing thread? I was just wondering if the second way of extending the thread can be trusted. Sandra, super nice question. I never burn my thread. I am just too afraid of fire anywhere near my thread and my beads. What I like to do is that even if it takes a longer time, that I weave in the thread end, the tail end, and then I secure a new thread by beading a couple of times, for example, on the edge of the motif until I feel that it is attached well, and then I continue with the new thread. But I know that Patrick Duggan, he has a tutorial on YouTube where he shows how can you burn and melt the 2 fire lines together. And many beaders say that they are happy with that solution. And I think that the best thing you can do is to try it, but I'm afraid of fire. Kathy also says that she doesn't trust burning the fire line together. Do we have... Okay, I just wanted to ask if we have a fellow beader here who trusts that solution. And Sarah, Sarah says that she is doing that and she is happy with it. If Sarah is happy, then I'm sure that it is a way that works well. But I don't know. I think I will stick to like, even if it's more work, I will stick to like weaving in the end and then starting a new one. Indeed, it looks to be convenient. Ladies, do you have any more questions about the motif or about anything else? I am super happy to help you until we are here together. By the way, next week, Tuesday, I am waiting for you with Coffee Time with Erika at the usual time. It's the same time now as the Friday beading sessions. And as you might have seen, then the Preciosa Rainbow Box or Preciosa Rainbow Box embarked on a journey, first time abroad, and it had a really nice time in Prague, having brunch with Andrea. Andrea is my colleague in the Beading School team, also my ex-classmate from high school, so she knows all the dirty stories. And today they traveled even further, staying in the Czech Republic. And some of you guessed from this picture that where did the Preciosa Rainbow Box travel after Prague? And on Tuesday, during Coffee Time with Erika, I will be showing more pictures from that journey. I told Andrea that she needs to take lots and lots of pictures from that journey together with the rainbow box. And we will talk about all kinds of, I think, they traveled together to the Preciosa factory in Jablonec nad Nisou. And not only will I show you some pictures that Andrea took for us in the Preciosa factory and their exhibitors area, but also I think it will be a nice time to get an overview of all kinds of stuff that is available from Preciosa crystals, to like tour a bit the assortment. So please prepare all your questions about like what's available, how can you use something, what kind of finishes does Preciosa do. So that's what I am waiting for you with next Tuesday. And now I would like to wish you a nice and relaxing weekend. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. And sending big hugs to everyone. And I am looking forward to seeing your finished jewels in the Beading School Club. Take care, ladies. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.